What are the forces behind our existence, and what role do our thoughts play in the scheme of life? Findings from quantum theory have established that our intentions, our thoughts, and our decisions play a crucial role in generating our destiny and in the transformation of people and societies.
Consider the development of our human body and compare it with the development of our personality traits and our behaviors. You can go to the gym all your life, and the changes in your body shape, the muscles you develop in the gym, are not passed in your genes. Your children are still born following characteristics of your original body. But compare these with your emotional experiences and your intentions. Profound emotional experiences, let's say for example a near-drowning experience, can leave their legacy in the genes you pass to your children, who may then be born with a certain predisposition, for example, to be afraid of water. There are some innate fears that we're born with, for example, fear of heights, fear of mutilated bodies, fear of snakes, that were acquired this way. These were emotions that our ancestors had and that were unwittingly passed to us because these ancestors had a subconscious intention to protect us from similar dangers. The moral of this story is that you have an important say in your life and in the creation of your own destiny, and that your intentions are very powerful and can have long-lasting consequences.
So life then is not completely random, and our intentions do play a role in our evolution. But still, what is the purpose of life?
To answer this question, let's first repeat what life is not. Our reason for living is not to simply respond passively to random circumstances. There is always purpose in our actions. We have thoughts, intentions, and we make decisions. Our purpose in life has a lot to do with our wishes, our hopes, our intentions, and our ambitions.
These images. What do you think these actions have in common? They are all attempts to achieve specific objectives.
The main reason for living is to achieve specific objectives. And this is principle number one of effective thinking and mind power. There is a subliminal evolutionary force, a collective unconscious dictated by our human condition, that motivates us to engage in actions that ultimately are directed to preserve and advance our human species.
Principle 1 of effective thinking states that we have a purpose in life, to achieve goals. It implies that absolutely everything we do is in pursuit of a specific result, even though we are not always aware of what our objectives are.
You say that in essence, our purpose for living is similar in all animal species. If our purpose of life is to achieve objectives, what is the life purpose of other animal species?
Imagine that you ask an animal, what's the purpose of life? And that's why I brought here my little mascot. This is Woofy. If I were to ask Woofy, Woofy, what's the purpose of life? Very likely, what Woofy would respond is, well, the purpose of life is to know which bones are the one good to chew, or what trees to pee when I go for a walk, or where to dig holes in the ground. But let's be a bit sarcastic with Woofy now. If I were to say, are you saying, Woofy, that the purpose of life is to chew bones and pee on trees? Well, Woofy would very likely say, no, 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 no. Those are my goals, my purpose in life. You have your own objectives, your purposes. Going to work, cook, clean the house, play your sport, go shopping. The reason for living is the same one regardless of who you are, whether you are a dog, a rat, or a fish. Every action you take is prompted by an intention to do something. In a dog, it could be to dig a hole in the ground. For you and I, is to earn a salary, marry, have a life.
There must be an ulterior motive to these objectives that we are pursuing.
There is, and it has to do with evolution. Remember, our main mission as people is to preserve and advance our human species. Everything we do has this concealed motive. You are not aware, but you are constantly engaged in working towards making our human race more evolved. Let me give you a simple example. You're watching television, holding your wife's hand. Deep inside, your mind is working towards very specific objectives. One could be to foster harmony in your relationship so your children have a suitable environment to grow. What you see on television may also have a purpose to keep your brain active and perhaps reinforce old learning. Everything we do, without exception, is related to make our contribution to Homo sapiens, our human species.
There must be more to life than just working on our objectives. Where is the fun, the enjoyment, our happiness?
In the very goals you pursue. Happiness is synonymous to success. Every time you achieve an objective, every time you complete a task, every time you have finished a chore, life rewards you with the most precious of all prizes, a unit of happiness. Happiness is embedded in your daily mission of living and in attending to your normal tasks. Every pleasant moment on your day is a moment when you did something successfully. You have made a contribution and you got the prize. You got the prize in the form of a moment of satisfaction. Don't be deceived by the simplicity of this concept. The pursuit of happiness is a very simple affair because these daily happy moments harbor the secret of your life satisfaction.
You may think of working on objectives as unpleasant, but for the vast majority of our objectives, effort is not required. Sometimes you need to perform tasks that are demanding or unpleasant, or that involve stress, but these are actually insignificant when compared to the very great number of goals we constantly attend to without effort as part of our daily lives. Pleasant or unpleasant activities, stressful or effortless, important or trivial, all these engage our achieving apparatus. Doing overtime to save some money might be seen as hard work, but going to watch a movie or enjoying a pleasant dinner is perceived as enjoyment, even though they are really no different as far as our inner subconscious mechanisms are concerned. Our inner goal-achieving processes deal with each goal in exactly the same way, mobilizing our feelings and motivating us to work towards it. Fortunately, pleasant or effortless activities outnumber the difficult ones by far. Happiness emerges from enjoying your successes. You are happy every time you accomplish a task. The art of living a fulfilling life is a simple and straightforward one. Be good at what you do and be aware of those moments of satisfaction. Principle number 1 of effective thinking, stating that your sole purpose in life is to achieve specific objectives, is critically important in developing mind power because it refers to a basic and critical characteristic of thinking. Your intentions and efforts are controlled by the goals you are consciously or unconsciously attempting to achieve, and you select these goals yourself with your own free will, even if you are unaware you are doing so. This principle conveys that we are constantly directing our efforts and actions towards achieving certain goals that we have chosen, whether intentionally or inadvertently through our own thinking. The mere act of thinking exercises our free will, because thinking creates the internal forces that motivate and direct us to work towards certain ends. Thinking is thus a primary trigger in this chain of events. It leads us in the direction of the ideas we entertain. Your purpose of life, then, has to do primarily with obtaining objectives, those that make your life satisfying and enjoyable. But whether your life goes in the direction of success and happiness, or towards creating difficulties and undue suffering, is dictated by the very thoughts you entertain.